Hi weavers, and welcome. This lesson is going to be on skip stitch twining and vertical 3-strand. Skip stitch twining, let's start here. Skip stitch twining is what you see in this area here. It's when you start weaving it, you weave it right up next to the row above, and the pattern comes out with the over 4 stitches. The rest of the stitches are just over 2 warps. So here's what the graphed pattern looks like. For the beginner bag people, your bag is 40 warps wide. So between these two lines are 40 warps. The key is a dash is over 2 warps and a box is over 4 warps. So to come across this row, it would be over 2, over 4, over 2, over 2, over 2, over 2, over 2, over 2, over 4. 6 2s and a 4, one more 2, and you finished your pattern, and you'll tie a knot. On most weavings, there are 2 repeats of this pattern at least. In this picture, there are 2 repeats of this pattern. To weave this pattern are the instructions right here. Repeat rows 1 through 8 and finish with 9. This graph was graphed so that the top row and the bottom row are the same. But when you're weaving it, you don't want to repeat this row twice. You're going to weave from here down to there, and then when you get to this 2 stitch, you'll jump back to the top and weave. If you're ending with this one, you will go down to row 9 and end your pattern, and you'll have 2 repeats of the spider web. So I've got my fringes and I've got my weavers. I'm going to take and lay in a fringe and get a weaver. Here's my pattern. I'm going to double this around the side cords. This is a 22-inch strand. It's also called 11 doubled because it is 11 inches that it's going to travel the 2 strands. So I have 4 inches for my bag, 1 inch for take up, that's 5, and then I've got a 6-inch fringe, so I need 11 inches doubled. So this is 11-inch double, it's 22 inches. So I'm going to start here with a skip stitch pattern. I'm going to weave right up next to my black row, and I'm going to start with 1 stitch of a 2 and then a 4. Now I'm going to do 6 2s, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then I want a 4. So here I am. I'm now going over 4 warps. And the 4 warps are what what you're going to see the pattern coming out in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and over 4, and over 2. There we are. We're at the end of our first row of the graph, and we go on around the side cords and tie that knot. The side cords are not part of the graph. The 40 warps in between the side cords are on the graph. Okay, let's see. We're going to do the knot on this side. Take the 1 from the back, put it to the front, get the 2 strands even, and poke them through that loop. There's the lark's head knot. Now, with your 3-strand twining, when you put it in, you only end up with 1 on the front. You want to always have 2 strands on the front. So as soon as you've woven a row underneath a 3-strand, you take one of these blacks that's in the back, it doesn't matter which one, and bring it to the front. Now we have 2 strands on the front, and that's the way you'll want to see it for the whole rest of the weaving. We're going to do that over here. We're going to take one of them and we're going to bring it to the front. Okay, so we're going to put on a fringe and weave a few more rows off the pattern, and then we'll come back and switch the braid, the 3-strand again. Hi weavers. Let's see here on our weaving now. We brought the black 3-strand across and we came around the corner, got our 2nd strand on the front. Well, after weaving the first row of the pattern, then I wove 4 more rows of the pattern and I'm ready to bring the 3-strand black line down. So the process is you get the 3rd strand to the front. You want to take and kind of give each strand a slight little tug in case there's any extra slack in the strands back here. You're going to get the 3 strands to the front, take the top one to the left and the back, and that's going to start drawing the line down the side. We're going to go over here, same thing. We're going to bring that 3rd strand from the back to the front. We're going to give it a slight tug, which makes the line straight and clean, and then top strand to the left and the back. On both sides of the weaving it's the same. The top strand goes to the left and the back. It has to do with the twist of the yarn, so that you're bringing it on down. So now don't forget this black line. Now that we have it going, I have woven 4 rows before we did what we call the switch. Now you're going to weave 4 more rows of your skip stitch pattern, and then you'll bring your black line down. So everybody loves doing skip stitch. I can start to see the pattern coming out there. So follow your graph. If you're going to do 2 repeats of it, you'll weave row 1 through 8, then go back to 1 and weave through the bottom on row 9. So happy weaving!